We're here live in Victoria, Texas, as the Brazos Valley Bombers are ready to take on the Victoria Generals here in Game 1 of a 2-game series here at Riverside Stadium. On the mound tonight for your Victoria Generals will be Kyle Backus. And the first pitch of the game from Backus is going to be swung on and missed for strike one. First batter up here for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Danny Mitchell, as he has an 0-1 count on him early. 0-1 pitch is going to be bouncing low and away for ball one. Generals trying to end the losing skid as they have lost 2 in a row, being swept at home by the Texas Marshals. It's a 1-1 pitch from Backus. It's going to miss outside to make the count 2-1. Brazos Valley Bombers are coming off a win last night over the Acadiana Kinkers. 2-1 count on the way. Big swing and a miss by Mitchell. Going to even up at 2-2. So a 2 Danny Mitchell. 2-2 pitch on the way. It's going to be down and away to make the count full 3-2. Casey Danley will be the batter on deck for the Bombers. Full 3-2 count here to Danny Mitchell. Pitch is on the way. It's going to miss outside, and that's going to be the first walk of the game and the first base runner of the game for the Brazos Valley Bombers. So Danny Mitchell draws the walk in the first at-bat of the game, and the next batter up here for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Casey Danley. Runner on first base. First pitch on the way from Backus is going to be fouled back for strike one. Your infield tonight for your Generals: Thomas Jeffries at first base, Giancarlo Servin at second, Trent Brown at short, and Marshall Skinner at third. 0-1 pitch on the way from Backus to Danley is going to be dropped by the catcher Parker Osborne. The ball is going to go into center field on the bad throw, and the Bombers are quickly going to have a runner on third base here with nobody out in the top of the first. The wild throw there by the catcher Parker Osborne goes sailing over the second baseman Servin's head. And the Bombers in striking position here in the top of the first. 1-1 count here to Casey Danley. Pitch on the way from Backus is going to be high and away to move the count to 2-1. Casey Danley hitting .288 on the season for the Brazos Valley Bombers. 2-1 pitch coming from Backus. That one's going to miss inside. And the count was at 3-1. And ball 4 just came in, so 2 batters, 2 walks here early in the game for Kyle Backus. And the Bombers now with runners on first and third. Next batter up here for the Brazos Valley Bombers, Alex Nielsen will step up to the plate. Nobody out, runners on the corners. Robin Adamus will be the batter on deck. First pitch on the way from Backus to Nielsen is going to be in there for strike one. Alex Nielsen hitting .297 on the year for the Brazos Valley Bombers. 0-1 pitch coming. There goes the runner to second, but the ball is going to be hooked to left for a foul ball. Count sits at 0-2 here to Alex Nielsen. Bombers with runners on first and third. Nobody out here early in the top of the first. Kyle Backus is your pitcher tonight for your Victoria Generals. 0-2 pitch is going to be fouled back once again. And Alex Nielsen staying alive here in the at-bat. .0-2 count here to Alex Nielsen. Pitch on the way from Backus. Off-speed pitch is going to be in there. This could be 2. Throw over to first from Brown is going to be in time. But the Bombers are going to get a run here early in the top of the first inning, regardless of the double play. So Nielsen into a double play, but the Bombers get the runner from third to cross the plate, and Robin Adam will be the next batter up here for Brazos Valley. Robin Adam is hitting .316 on the season for the Bombers, and his team is up 1-0 here in the top of the first. 1-0 pitch coming on the way to Adamas. It's going to be fouled off to the left side, and the count moves to 0-2. Cam Blake is the batter on deck for the Bombers. Pitch coming on the way from Backus. It's going to miss outside to make the count 1-2. Kyle Backus on the season, 20 2/3 innings pitched, 16 hits given up, 17 runs and 23 walks and 34 strikeouts as Robin Adamas goes down swinging here in the top of the first inning. But the Bombers get a run here to take an early 1-0 lead on the Generals. We're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the bottom of the first inning. Bombers get a run in the top half to take a quick 1-0 lead here at Riverside Stadium. Your first three batters up tonight for your Victoria Generals. Luis Vargas is going to start things off, followed by Thomas Jeffries, and then Michael Williams will come in third for your Generals. First batter up here, Luis Vargas, trying to get things started off, as the first pitch to Vargas is going to be outside for ball one. Pitcher tonight for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Brad Verreel. Back here in Victoria, we head to the top of the second inning. Bombers quickly up 1-0 here in the ball game. First batter up here for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Cam Blake. As Kyle Backus' first pitch on the way is going to be in there for strike one. Christian Sepulveda is the batter in the on-deck circle for the Bombers. As the 0-1 pitch on the way from Backus is going to be in there to make the count 1-1. So a 1-1 count here to Cam Blake. Pitch on the way from Backus is going to be bouncing down and away to make the count 2-1. Cam Blake hitting .257 on the year for the Bombers. So it looks like we have a quick timeout here. Head coach Michael Oros arguing the call as he thought Blake might have went around on the check swing. But nonetheless, the count sits at 2-1. 2-1 pitch coming on the way from Backus is going to be hit over to the right side to the first baseman Jeffries. Nice scoop over there for the first out of the inning. So a nice scoop over there at first by Thomas Jeffries, and that will be the first out of the inning. And the next batter up here for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Christian Sepulveda. Dylan Bonnert, the batter, on deck for the Bombers. First pitch on the way to Sepulveda is going to be down and away for ball one. Christian Sepulveda, the TCL Home Run Derby winner just a couple weeks ago here at Riverside Stadium. Bombers lead the Generals 1-0 in the top of the second. Pitch on the way from Backus is going to miss outside, and the count quickly moves to 2-0. Sepulveda hitting .265 on the year for the Bombers. 2-0 pitch coming from Backus. Another off-speed pitch is going to miss inside, and the count's going to move to 3-0. So a 3-0 count here to Christian Sepulveda. Pitch on the way from Backus is going to be high and away. It's going to be in there for strike one. So a 3-1 count. Pitch on the way to Sepulveda is going to be swung on, fouled back to make the count full 3-2. Fifth batter of the game that Kyle Backus has faced here in the top of the second inning. 3-2 pitch coming on the way. Sepulveda is going to hook it left just beyond the foul pole for a foul ball. 3-2 count. One out here in the top of the second inning. Pitch on the way to Sepulveda is going to miss inside, and Christian Sepulveda will be on with a walk here in the top of the second inning. So after the walk by Christian Sepulveda, next batter up for the Bombers will be Dylan Bonner. Runner on first base, 1 out here in the top of the second. Third walk of the game so far by Kyle Backus. First pitch on the way to Bonner. It's going to be way outside for ball 1. Dylan Bonner hitting .275 on the year for the Brazos Valley Bombers. 1-0 count to Bonner. Pitch on the way from Backus. That one's going to be in there for strike 1. And the count's going to even up to 1-1. Bombers with no hits so far in the game, but an error in the top of the first has them up 1-0. 1-1 pitch is going to be hooked left into the Generals dugout. And the count's going to move to 1-2. As I mentioned, Generals on a 2-game losing streak right now, getting swept here at home to the Texas Marshals, looking to gain some confidence as they play the Bombers tomorrow night and then start another 2-game series with the Texarkana Twins here at Riverside Stadium on Monday and Tuesday. 1-2 pitch on the way to Blake is going to be hit over to the right side. And it's going to be dropped down for a base hit. It's just going to get in there as the first baseman Chase Evans could not run under it in time. And excuse me, that was Dylan Bonner with the single. So after Dylan Bonner gets on with the blooper over into right field, the Bombers with runners on first and second and 1 out here for Bennett Einoff. Dylan Bonner on first, Christian Sepulveda on second. Bennett Einoff, the batter. First pitch on the way from Backus is going to be fouled back for strike 1. Bennett Einoff hitting .286 on the year for the Bombers. Cam Haller will be on deck. 0-1 pitch coming on the way from Backus. It's going to be down and away for ball 1. It's just going to miss the zone, and Parker Osborne cannot get a hold on the ball. And the runners are going to advance over to second and third on the 1-1 count. So the Bombers making their presence known here early in the game, already with runners on second and third. 1 out and a 1-0 lead. 1-1 pitch on the way to Bennett Einoff is going to be in there, just missing to make the count 2-1. So the count sits at 2-1 to Bennett Einoff of Texas University. 2-1 pitch coming on the way. It's going to be high and away, and Kyle Backus quickly down 3-1 here to Bennett Einoff. Runners on second and third. Only 1 out in the inning. 3-1 count here to Bennett Einoff. Pitch on the way from Backus is going to be hit over into left field. It's going to hook foul. Vargas is going to try and run for it, but is not going to get there in time. So the count's going to go full to 3-2. So the count sits at 3-2 here to Einoff. Cam Haller on deck, patiently waiting. 3-2 pitch coming. It's going to be swung on and miss, and that's going to be a strikeout here for Kyle Backus. So the strikeout by Bennett Einoff means 2 outs here with runners on second and third. Cam Haller will step in for the Bombers. Runners on second and third here for Haller. hitting .311 on the year, as the first pitch to Haller is going to be fouled back for strike one. So quickly down 0-1 in the count is Cam Haller. Oh, 0-1 pitch coming on the way to Haller is going to be high and away to make the count 1-1. On deck circle is Danny Mitchell, back to the top of the order for the Bombers. As the 1-1 pitch on the way to Haller, it's going to miss outside. Miss that outside corner to make the count 2-1. All 9 batters in the Bombers starting lineup have already batted tonight. And we're only in the top of the second inning. The Generals have only had 3 batters bat. Here as we head to the bottom half here soon, and that's going to be a swing and a miss by Cam Haller to make the count 2-2. So the count sits at 2-2 here to Haller. Pitch on the way from Backus is going to be down and away, missing to make the count full 3-2. So a full 3-2 count here to Cam Haller. Pitch on the way from Backus is going to be inside, and that's going to be another walk here in the top of the second inning. And the Bombers now with the bases loaded and 2 outs. So after the walk by Cam Haller, we go back to the top of the order. For the Bombers, it'll be Danny Mitchell to step in. Kyle Backus already with 4 walks here in the top, only in the top of the second inning. So Danny Mitchell, already with a walk in his first at-bat, will step in for the Bombers. First pitch on the way from Backus is going to be popped up in the infield. Now it looks like Servin is going to run under this. The Bombers lead the game 1-0. We're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the bottom of the second inning. Bombers lead the Generals 1-0. First batter up here for your Victoria Generals will be Chase Evans. After the Generals went 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the first. First pitch on the way from Virreal to Evans is going to be in there for strike one. Oh, 0-1 pitch coming on the way to Evans is going to be hit up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit here to start the bottom half of the second for Chase Evans. So Chase Evans is on with a single here in the bottom of the second inning. Be a runner on first base for the next batter up, Marshall Skinner. Only the first hit given up of the game to Virreal. First pitch on the way from Virreal to Skinner. It's going to be in there for strike one. Marshall Skinner hitting .333 on the year for the Victoria Generals. Playing third base tonight. He has Chase Evans on first. Virreal's going to throw over to first base just to keep Evans honest over there on the bag. Make sure he doesn't steal. Oh, 0-1 pitch on the way to Skinner is going to be swung on a miss. Huge swing and a miss, and the count will quickly move to 0-2. Your infield tonight for the Brazos Valley Bombers: Dylan Bonner at first, Alex Nielsen at second, Christian Sepulveda at short, and Robin Adamas at third. 0-2 pitch coming on the way. It's going to miss outside to make the count 1-2. The outfield for the Bombers: Casey Danley in left field, Danny Mitchell in center field. 1-2 count here to Marshall Skinner. Pitch is going to be on the way. It's going to miss inside. It's going to get past the catcher, Cam Haller. And Chase Evans is going to move over to second base. So Evans moves over to second. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. 2-2 count here to Marshall Skinner. Giancarlo serving the batter on deck. 2-2 pitch coming on the way from Virreal. It's going to be hit over into right side, and that's going to be a base hit over into right field for Marshall Skinner. And Evans is going to be held at third base on a beautiful throw over there from Bennett Einoff, the right fielder. Keeps Chase Evans at third, but the Generals with runners on the corners. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. So after the Skinner base hit, with runners on first and third, the next batter up will be Giancarlo Servin. Bottom of the second inning here at Riverside Stadium. Bombers with a 1-0 lead, but the Generals looking to strike into the lead with runners on first and third. Giancarlo Servin the batter. First pitch on the way from Virreal is going to be high and away to make the count 1-0. Giancarlo Servin hitting .375 on the year so far in his short playing time with the Victoria Generals. 1-0 pitch on the way. It's going to be down and away, missing in the count. Quickly move to 2-0. So a 2-0 count here to Giancarlo Servin. Pitch on the way from Virreal is going to be swung on and missed by Servin. And the count's going to move to 2-1. Michael Morissetti will be the batter on deck for the Generals. 2-1 pitch coming on the way to Servin, and that one's going to be blooped over into right field. The right fielder Einoff is going to run under it. Chase Evans is not going to tag up, as once again Bennett Einoff with a cannon over there in right keeps Evans at third for the first out of the inning. So after Giancarlo Servin pops out to right field, Michael Morissette will be the next batter up, still with runners on first and third. First pitch on the way to Morissette is going to be swung on and missed to quickly make the count 0-1. So an 0-1 count here to Michael Morissette. He's going to boop that one over to the second baseman. This could be two. Throw over to first, and that's going to be the third out of the inning. So the Bombers dodge a bullet here with runners on first and third as Michael Morissette grounds into the double play, and we head to the top of the third inning. Bombers lead the Generals 1-0. We're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the top of the third inning. Bombers lead the Generals 1-0. First batter up here for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Casey Danley. Danley with a walk in his first at-bat. First pitch on the way to Danley is going to be in there for strike one. Kyle Backus tonight, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit given up on 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. As the 0-1 pitch is going to be bouncing down and away to even the count up 1-1. Alex Nielsen, the batter, on deck for the Bombers. This one's going to be hit into center field, just too short for the center fielder Michael Williams. And the Bombers with the runner on first base. So after the single by Casey Danley, with a runner on first base, the batter for the Bombers will be Alex Nielsen. Nielsen already with a hit tonight with an RBI. First pitch on the way to Nielsen is going to be down and away to make the count 1-0. Count here to Nielsen. Pitch on the way. There goes Danley to second. Throw by Osborne over there. Throw is not going to be in time. Servin thought he got the tag down, but instead Casey Danley is going to be down to second with a stolen base. So after the stolen base by Danley, it's a 2-0 count here to Alex Nielsen. 2-0 pitch on the way. That one's going to be swung on and missed. And the count's going to move to 2-1. Your lineup tonight for your Victoria Generals: Jeffries at first, Servin at second, Brown at short, and Skinner at third. Vargas in left, Williams in center, Chase Evans in right. 2-1 pitch on the way to Nielsen is going to be down in the way, and the count moves to 3-1. So a 3-1 count here to Nielsen. Runner on second base, nobody out. Pitch on the way. It's going to be popped up behind to make the count 3-2. Once again, the Generals versus the Bombers. Game 2 will be tomorrow here at Riverside Stadium. And then the Generals will start a 2-game series here at home with the Texarkana Twins. 3-2 pitch on the way is going to be outside for ball 4. And Alex Nielsen draws the walk here in the top of the third. The 5th walk of the game so far by Kyle Backus. And with runners on first and second and nobody out, Robin Adames will step in for the Brazos Valley Bombers. First pitch on the way to Adames. The runners are going to take off. Throw over to third is not going to be in time. Casey Danley got a nice jump on it, and the runners advance to second and third here with nobody out in the top of the third inning. Robin Adames in his first at-bat of the game struck out, but has runners in scoring position and nobody out. So 1-0 pitch is going to be on the way. Adames is going to foul that one back to make the count 1-1. Adames also, along with his teammate Christian Sepulveda, competed in the TCL Home Run Derby this season. The only team in the league that had 2 participants. As the 0-2 pitch is going to be sent over into left field. Vargas is going to run under this one. Danley's going to tag up at third, but what a throw by Vargas in left. Right into the glove of Parker Osborne, the catcher. And instead of the tag up, Danley stays at third. So just another good throw here by the 2 outfielders in this game. That one by the left fielder Vargas. And that'll be the first out of the inning for the Bombers. So after Adames flies out to left, the next batter up for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Cam Blake. First pitch on the way to Blake. It's going to be outside for ball 1. Cam Blake 0 for 1 tonight for the Brazos Valley Bombers. Runners on second and third, 1 out in the inning. 1-0 pitch is going to be high and away to make the count 2-0. So a 2-0 count here to Cam Blake. Pitch is on the way. Blake's going to send that one to the gap, and this could score more than 1 run. They're going to hold him at third, but the Bombers are going to get a run here in the top of the third inning to make the game 2-0. So the RBI single by Cam Blake gives the Bombers a 2-0 lead. So after the RBI single by Blake, the next batter up for the Bombers will be Christian Sepulveda. Runners on first and third, and only 1 out in the inning. Sepulveda walked his first at-bat of the game. First pitch on the way to Sepulveda. It looks like he wants to bunt here, but he pulls back just in time. But it was in there for a strike to make the count 0-1. Dylan Bonnert, the batter, on deck for the Bombers. 0-1 pitch on the way. Sepulveda, big swing and a miss. Sepulveda shaking his head. He thought he was going to get a hold of that one, but instead the count moves to 0-2. So an 0-2 count here to Christian Sepulveda. Pitch on the way, just going to miss outside. That outside corner, the fans rumbling about it. They thought that was strike 3. But instead the count will sit at 1-2. 1-2 pitch on the way. The runner's going to take off for second. Sepulveda is going to strike out for the second out of the inning. But the Bombers now with runners on second and third. So after Christian Sepulveda strikes out with 2 outs, the next batter up will be Dylan Bonner. Runners on second and third base. Pitch is going to be on the way. Big swing and a miss by Bonner. Looks like he might have foul tipped that one back, and the count will move to 0-1. Dylan Bonner with a hit already in the game for the Bombers. Count sits at 0-1. Pitch on the way to Bonner from Backus. It's just going to be inside for strike 2. And the count quickly sits at 0-2 to Bonner. (0-2) count here to Dylan Bonner. Runners on second and third. Pitch on the way from Backus is going to be in there for strike 3. Bonner cannot believe it. He points to the bag. He thought it was outside. But the Bombers get a run here in the top of the third inning to make the game 2-0 Bombers. We're going to head to the bottom half of the inning in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the bottom of the third inning. Bombers lead the Generals 2-0. First batter up here for your Victoria Generals will be Parker Osborne, the catcher. On deck will be Trent Brown as the first pitch into Osborne is going to be in there for strike 1. The Generals have not even gotten to the end of their batting order, as Brown will be the last batter, as the 0-1 pitch is going to be swung on, foul tipped back to make the count 0-2. The Bombers have already gone through their 9-person lineup and then are halfway through once again, as the 0-2 pitch to Osborne is going to miss outside to make the count 1-2. Solid pitching tonight by Brad Verriel, only 2 hits given up. as the 1-2 pitch is going to be high and away to make the count 2-2. So a 2-2 count here to Parker Osborne. Pitch on the way is going to be fouled back into the netting to stay alive in the at-bat. Two-two pitch on the way from Viril to Osborne is going to miss outside. Good eye there by Parker Osborne, and the count now full at 3-2. 3-2 pitch coming on the way. It's going to be swung on and belted into the gap between Adames and Sepulveda over there at third and short. And Parker Osborne will be on with a single. So Parker Osborne on with a single. And the last batter up here in the Generals order will be Trent Brown. After Brown, we'll go back to the top of the order with Luis Vargas, who stands in the on-deck circle. First pitch on the way to Brown is going to be fouled off Cam Haller, the catcher's mask, and it actually knocked the mask off for a foul ball to make the count 0-1. Home plate umpire having a quick word here with Brad Viril. Not too sure what they were talking about. But man, what a foul tip off by Trent Brown. Went right into the mask of Cam Haller and actually knocked the protective face mask off. Count sits at 0-1 here to Trent Brown. Parker Osborne, the runner, on first. Pitch on the way to Brown, looking like he wants to bunt. Throw over to first by Haller is going to go sailing over the first baseman Dylan Bonnert's head. Bad throw there by the catcher Haller. And the Generals with a runner now on second base. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third. So the count sits at 1-1 here to Trent Brown. Parker Osborne, the runner, on second base. First error of the game for the Bombers. Pitch on the way from Brown. It's going to be fouled back to make the count 1-2. Eighth batter faced so far for Bombers pitcher Brad Viril. Only 3 hits given up so far. No strikeouts, no walks, no earned runs. 1-2 pitch on the way to Brown is going to be popped up into the center field. Not going to be caught over there by center fielder Danny Mitchell, as it was just a little blooper. And Trent Brown is going to be on with a single here. And now runners on the corners, nobody out. So after the single by Trent Brown puts runners on first and third. Next batter up, back to the top of the order for the Generals will be Luis Vargas. So Luis Vargas 0 for 1 tonight for the Generals. First pitch on the way is going to be hit over right to the shortstop Sepulveda on a line drive. First pitch of the at-bat for out number 1. So after the line out by Luis Vargas, the first baseman Thomas Jeffries will step in next for the Generals. Quick timeout here by Viril. As I mentioned earlier, Thomas Jeffries, actually a former Bomber himself, looking to get a little revenge on his former team. Michael Williams, the batter, on deck. First pitch on the way to Jeffries is going to be hit over into left field. The left fielder, Casey Danley, is going to run under this one, but Parker Osborne is going to tag up, and the Generals are going to get a run here in the bottom half of the third. So a sacrifice fly there by Thomas Jeffries. Gets Parker Osborne across the plate, and the game now sits at 2-1 Bombers. As the next batter up will be Michael Williams, the center fielder. First pitch on the way to Mike Williams. It's going to be hit over into left field, and Michael Williams, one pitch, one single. And runners now will be on first and second with 2 outs in the inning. So we're back here in Victoria. We want to apologize for the technical difficulties that took place. But the Victoria Generals now with a 4-2 lead over the Brazos Valley Bombers. Here, as we enter the top of the 4th inning. Once the stream went down, you missed a lot of stuff, so I'll try and fill you guys in on what happened. So in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Thomas Jeffries hits a sacrifice fly into left field to score Parker Osborne. That's 1 run. And then Chase Evans hits an RBI single, scoring Trent Brown, scoring another run. And then Marshall Skinner hitting an RBI single, scoring 2 runs to make the game 4-2 Generals here in the top of the 4th inning. So once again, that was Jeffries with a sac fly, Chase Evans with an RBI single, and Marshall Skinner with an RBI single. Generals lead the Bombers now 4-2. As the first pitch on the way from Kyle Backus is going to be in there for strike 1. Batter up for the Bombers is Bennett Einoff. Second pitch on the way. It's going to be down and away to make the count 1-1. Once again, we want to apologize for the technical difficulties that took place. But the Generals now with a 4-2 lead. After that one's going to be outside to make the count 2-1. The Generals explode in that last inning, now with 7 hits in the game. 4-2 Generals lead the Bombers. The 2-1 pitch is going to be outside, and the count's going to move to 3-1. So a 3-1 count here to Bennett Einoff. Already with a strikeout here in the game, as that one's going to be high and away, and that's going to be another walk as we start the top of the 4th inning. 6th walk of the game for Kyle Backus. And the Bombers now with a runner on first base. And the catcher Cam Haller will step in for the Bombers. So once again, if you're just joining us, the Generals explode for 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Jeffries with an RBI sacrifice fly. Chase Evans with an RBI single. And Marshall Skinner with an RBI single. The line gets there in time, but the runner is out at second base. So after the ground out by Cam Haller, back to the top of the order we go to the Bombers. Danny Mitchell will step in for Brazos Valley. Runner on first base, 1 out. Generals with a 4-2 lead. First pitch on the way from Kyle Backus is going to bounce outside. And the count's going to move to 1-0. Stats tonight for Kyle Backus: 4 strikeouts, 6 walks, 1 earned run, 3 hits given up, and 3 1/3 innings pitched. 1-0 pitch on the way from Backus once again, missing outside to make the count 2-0. Danny Mitchell tonight with a walk and a run scored. Casey Danley will be the batter on deck. 2-0 pitch coming on the way from Backus is going to be in there for strike 1. So a 2-1 count. Here to the top of the order, Danny Mitchell. 2-1 pitch is on the way. It's going to be popped up in the infield. And the second baseman, Giancarlo Servin, is going to run under this one for the second out of the inning. So Danny Mitchell flies out to second baseman Giancarlo Servin. With 2 outs and a runner on first, Casey Danley will be their batter up for the Bombers. Generals leading 4-2 after scoring 4 runs in the bottom half of the third. First pitch on the way. The runner is going to take off for second. Another bad throw is going to head into center field. And Cam Haller is going to move over to third base after the bad throw. Bombers now with a runner on third base, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. The error committed by the catcher Parker Osborne. So once again, if you were interrupted by our stream as our wireless internet went down once again, Generals explode for 4 runs in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Scoring included Thomas Jeffries hitting a sac fly to left, Chase Evans hitting an RBI single, and Marshall Skinner hitting an RBI single. Runner on third base as the 1-0 pitch is going to be outside to make the count 2-0. Always a good battle between the Generals and the Bombers. Both teams fighting to stay in the lead as that one's going to be popped up into center field. The center fielder Williams is going to run back to it, and Mike Williams is not going to get there as the ball bounces on the warning track, and Casey Danley is going to head for 3, and Casey Danley is going to be down with a triple. And just like that, the game is going to move to 4-3 Generals, and the Bombers in scoring position once again. So a nicely hit ball by Casey Danley goes all the way back to the warning track. Center fielder Mike Williams cannot get there. Bombers now with a runner on third base as Alex Nielsen steps in. Generals with a 4-3 lead. First pitch on the way from Kyle Backus is going to be outside. Count's going to move to 1-0. Second hit of the night for Casey Danley. First RBI of the night. Robin Adames will be the batter on deck as the 1-0 pitch from Backus is going to miss inside and the count's going to move to 2-0. So a 2-0 count here to Alex Nielsen. Pitch on the way from Backus is going to be in there right down the middle for strike 1. Alex Nielsen tonight with a walk and an RBI. Looking to add another RBI to the board with a base hit. 2-1 pitch on the way from Backus. That one's going to miss outside. And the count moves to 3-1. .43 strikes, 43 balls thrown tonight by starting pitcher Kyle Backus. 86 pitches, and we're only in the top of the 4th inning as that one's going to miss inside for ball 4. And just like that, Alex Nielsen draws the walk and the Bombers with runners on the corners. Quick mound visit here by head coach Michael Oros to talk to Kyle Backus. As the Bombers with runners on first and third and 2 outs for Robin Adames. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Once again, we want to apologize for the technical difficulties. Generals lead the Bombers 4-3. Runners on first and third base, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Robin Adames, the batter, up for the Bombers. Generals lead 4-3. Pitch on the way from Backus. Off-speed pitch is going to be in there for strike 1. Probably not the guy you want to see up at the plate if you're the Generals, the power hitter Robin Adames. As the 0-1 pitch on the way to Backus is going to be popped back into the parking lot, and the count moves to 0-2. Robin Adames hit a grand slam about a month ago here at Riverside Stadium to give the Bombers the victory, as the Generals led at the top of the 9th inning with 2 outs. 0-2 pitch on the way. The runner's going to take off the second. Another throw down by Osborne is going to allow the run to score, but a nice pickle here is going to be the 3rd out. But the Bombers are going to tie the game up with the throw. And we're going to head to the bottom half of the 4th with a tied 4-4 game. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the bottom of the 4th inning as the Generals and the Bombers are all knotted up 4-4 here at Riverside Stadium. New pitcher in for the Bombers, We number 28, Brady Batten. Batten will relief Brad Verreel. The first batter up here for the Victoria Generals will be Michael Morissette, as the first pitch to Morissette is going to be fouled off Back to the left side for a foul ball to make the count 0-1. So the Bombers scored 2 runs in the top of the 4th inning to tie the game 4-4. Second pitch of the at-bat on the way from Brady Batten to Michael Morissette is going to miss outside to make the count 1-1. 1-1 pitch on the way to Morissette. Big swing and a miss. Make the count 1-2. Michael Morissette standing at 6'6". 6'6", 210. The 2-2 is going to be popped into center field, but the center fielder for the Bombers, Danny Mitchell, is going to run under that one, make an over-the-shoulder catch for the first out of the inning. So after the flyout by Michael Morissette, next batter up will be the catcher Parker Osborne. First pitch on the way to Osborne is going to be inside to make the count 1-0. 1-0 pitch on the way. It's going to be in there to make the count even at 1-1. So as I mentioned, Michael Morissette standing at 6 feet 6 inches tall. Parker Osborne just standing at 5 feet 11. Big difference there as the ball goes in there to make the count 1-2. So 1-2 count coming on the way to Osborne. Pitch on the way from Brady Batten. It's going to be fouled back to make the count remaining at 1-2. So 1-2 count here to Osborne. Pitch on the way from Batten. Osborne is going to pop this one into right field. And the right fielder Bennett Einoff is going to run into that one for the second out of the inning. So after the flyout to right field by Parker Osborne, with 2 outs here in the inning, the next batter up will be Trent Brown. No runners on base for the Generals here in the bottom of the 4th. As the first pitch looks like it's going to be in there for strike 1. Looks like we're going to have a quick conversation between home plate umpire and Brady Batten. Trent Brown tonight already with a hit and a run scored for your Victoria Generals. Once again, the Generals took a 4-2 lead heading into the 4th inning, but the Bombers adding 2 runs in the top half to tie it up 4-4. Pitch on the way from Batten is going to be swung on a miss by Brown. And the count will move to 0-2. Trent Brown actually from here in Victoria. As a 2-2 pitch is going to be popped out into right field. The right fielder Bennett Einoff is not going to be able to get to that one as it hooks foul to remain the count 0-2. Back to the top of the order after Brown as Luis Vargas stands on deck for the Generals. (0-2) pitch coming on the way from Batten to Brown. Pitch is on the way. An off-speed pitch is going to be in there. They're going to say it just went outside to make the count 1-2. And I can't make this up. Everybody in the infield for the Bombers started heading towards the dugout. That's how confident they were that was strike 3. 1-2 pitch is going to be in there, and Trent Brown is going to go down swinging for the first strikeout of the game for Brady Batten. So we head to the top of the 5th inning, all knotted up here at Riverside Stadium, 4-4. We're going to step aside, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the top of the 5th inning. Generals and Bombers all knotted up at 4-4. Chris Fearon is the new pitcher in for your Victoria Generals from the University of Texas at Austin, as the first pitch is going to be in there, swung and a miss for the batter Robin Adamas. Second pitch on the way from Fearon. It's going to be down and away, missing to make the count 1-1. So a 1-1 count here from Chris Fearon to Robin Adamas. Ball is going to bounce outside and the count's going to move to 2-1. So once again, Chris Fearon coming in for relief for Kyle Backus. Here in the top of the 5th inning, as a 2-1 pitch is going to be sent over to the left side for a foul ball, and the count is going to even up to 2-2. Robin Adamas tonight, no hits, and with 1 strikeout for the Bombers. 2-2 pitch on the way to Adamas is going to miss outside with the off-speed pitch. And the count will move to 3-2. Cam Blake will be the batter up next for the Bombers. 3-2 pitch on the way is going to be popped up into center field. Center fielder Michael Williams is going to run under this one for the first out of the inning. So Robin Adamas flies out to center, and with 1 out here, the top half of the 5th inning, the next batter up will be Cam Blake. Blake already with a hit and an RBI tonight for the Bombers. All knotted up 4-4. First pitch on the way from Chris Fearon is going to be outside, missing to make the count 1-0. 1-0 pitch coming on the way to Blake. That one's going to bounce down and away to make the count 2-0. Once again, Cam Blake tonight already with a hit and an RBI. 2-0 pitch coming. High and away to make it 3-0. So a 3-0 count coming here to Cam Blake. Pitch on the way. That one's going to be down and away for ball 4 and a 4-pitch at bat. And Cam Blake is on first with a walk. So after the walk by Cam Blake, the next batter up for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Christian Sepulveda. Stats tonight for starting pitcher Kyle Backus. 4 hits given up on 4 runs, 1 earned run, 7 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Christian Sepulveda, the batter, as the first pitch is going to be outside for ball 1. Runner on first base, only 1 out here in the top of the 5th. One-0 pitch coming on the way from Chris Fearon. Fearon's going to throw over to first. Almost went high. Jeffrey's having to jump up for that one to make sure it wasn't going back to the fence. Dylan Bonnert, the batter, on deck for the Bombers. 1-0 pitch coming on the way from Fearon. A beautiful off-speed pitch. He's going to be in there to make the count 1-1. So a 1-1 count here to the TCL Home Run Derby champion, Christian Sepulveda. Pitch on the way. The runner's going to take off for second. No throw down as Sepulveda swings and misses. But Cam Blake is going to be on second base here with 1 out, top of the 5th inning. Runner on second base. Quick timeout here by relief pitcher Chris Fearon, as catcher Parker Osborne is going to come out and say a few words to him. Once again, the Generals adding 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning to take a 4-2 lead But in the top of the fourth, the Bombers added 2 more to tie the game up at 4. 1-2 count here to Christian Sepulveda. Pitch on the way from Fearon is going to be swung on and missed, and Christian Sepulveda is going to go down swinging for the strikeout. So Christian Sepulveda strikes out swinging. And with a runner on second base and 2 outs here on the top of the 5th inning, the next batter up for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Dylan Bonner. Four to 4 tie game. First pitch on the way to Bonner. Off-speed pitch from Fearon is going to be in there. Swung on a miss to make the count 0-1. Dylan Bonner tonight with a hit and a strikeout. Bonner hitting .282 on the season. As the 0-1 pitch is on the way from Fearon. Off-speed pitch is going to miss outside. And the count's going to even up to 1-1. Once again, game 1 of a 2-game series here at Riverside Stadium between the Bombers and the Generals. 1-1 pitch coming on the way. Big swing and a miss there by Bonner. And the count moves to 1-2. So a 1-2 count here to Dylan Bonner. Bennett Einoff, the batter, will be on deck. 1-2 pitch on the way from Fearon. Swing and a miss, and that's another strikeout here for the University of Texas pitcher Chris Fearon. So just like that, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Game is still all knotted up, 4-4. And we're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Bombers and Generals all knotted up, 4-4. Leading off the inning here for the Victoria Generals will be the left fielder Luis Vargas. First pitch on the way from Brady Batten is going to be in there for strike 1. And Vargas quickly down 0-1 in the count. 0-1 pitch on the way from Batten. It's going to be down and away for ball 1. No hits in the game so far for the left fielder Luis Vargas. 1-1 pitch is going to be high and away to make the count 2-1. First baseman Thomas Jeffrey stands in the on-deck circle. As the pitch is on the way to Vargas, is going to be fouled back off the glove of catcher Cam Haller to make the count 2-2. So the count sits at 2-2 to Vargas. Pitch on the way from Batten. It's going to be fouled off into the parking lot to make the count 2-2. So 2-2 pitch coming on the way. Pitch on the way from Batten is going to be hit up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit for the left fielder Luis Vargas to start off the bottom of the fifth. So the first hit of the game for Luis Vargas, and the next batter up will be the first baseman Thomas Jeffries with a runner on first base. First pitch on the way coming to Jeffries. Off-speed pitch is going to be in there for strike one. Thomas Jeffries tonight had a sac fly in the bottom of the third inning for an RBI. Michael Williams, the center fielder, stands on deck. 0-1 pitch coming on the way to Jeffries. It's going to be high and away to make the count 1-1. 1-1 count here to Thomas Jeffries. Luis Vargas is the runner on first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth. Pitch on the way from Batten is going to miss outside. And the count's going to move to 2-1. Thomas Jeffries hitting .364 on the year for the Generals, as he has a runner on first base. Jeffries is going to look to bunt here, and he's actually going to pull back and swing at that one. This could be two, but Jeffries is going to hustle down to first for no outs. And it looks like we're having an argument here between the first base coach of the Generals and the umpire. Another coach being thrown out of the game here. I'm not sure what he's arguing. I think it was a close play at second, but he hustled all the way over from that first baseline to yell at that umpire, and he immediately has been thrown out of the game. Last night, the Marshals head coach was actually thrown out of the game after a bad call. And tonight's no different, as Michael Oros over there, head coach Michael Oros, pleading his case, trying to figure something out. But nonetheless, Vargas is called out at at second for the first out of the inning. Jeffries was down to first easily. But just like that, a coach ejected for the Generals. And the next batter up here will be Michael Williams, the center fielder. So Michael Williams steps in. Generals just now without a first base coach after he was ejected from the game. Bat is going to throw over to first base just to keep Jeffries honest over there at first. First pitch on the way to Williams is going to be hit into the gap, and Jeffries is going to be sent around second. Jeffries is going to go around third. This is going to be a close play at the plate. Throw home by Christian Sepulveda, and Jeffries is going to slide in there for a run. And an RBI double by the center fielder Michael Williams gives the Generals a 5-4 lead. So Michael Williams coming up clutch here in the bottom of the fifth inning, and the Generals now lead 5-4. So after the RBI double by Michael Williams gives the Generals a 5-4 lead, with a runner on second base and one out in the inning, Chase Evans will step in for your Victoria Generals. First pitch coming on the way to Chase Evans is going to bounce down and away to make the count 1-0. So a 1-0 count here to Evans with a runner on second. Pitch on the way to Evans is going to be high and away for ball 2. So a 2-0 count here to Chase Evans, already with 2 hits and an RBI in tonight's game. 2-0 pitch coming on the way from Batten is going to be fouled back for strike 1. So the count sits at 2-1 to Chase Evans. As I mentioned, 2 hits, 1 run scored, and 1 RBI tonight. Marshall Skinner, the third baseman, stands in the on-deck circle. 2-1 pitch coming on the way from Batten is going to be fouled back once again to make the count 2-2. So a wild sequence of events here at Riverside Stadium. The second night in a row a coach has been thrown out of the game. As I mentioned last night, the Marshall's head coach was tossed for arguing a bad call, and tonight the Generals' the first base coach was thrown, as Williams is going to head to third, and a bad throw over the head of the third baseman Adames means Michael Williams is going to stroll home, and just like that, the Generals add another run to the board after the bad throw by catcher Cam Haller. So a bad throw by Cam Haller goes over the head of the third baseman Robin Adames, and the Generals now with a 6-4 lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and a 3-2 count here to Chase Evans. 3-2 pitch on the way to Evans is going to be fouled back again. Good at bat here so far by Chase Evans, staying alive. So not only Michael Williams hitting the RBI double to score a run here, heads up base running after the bad throw to add another run to the board, as that one's going to be in there for strike 3, and Chase Evans is going to go down with no argument there for the second out of the inning. So after Chase Evans strikes out looking with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning, next batter up for your Victoria Generals will be Marshall Skinner. First pitch on the way to Skinner is going to be popped over to the shortstop Sepulveda. Throw over to first for the third out of the inning. But the Generals add 2 runs here in the bottom of the 5th and now lead 6-4 over the Bombers. We're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the top of the 6th inning. Generals regain the lead and lead 6-4 here over the Brazos Valley Bombers. Coach that was ejected in the bottom of the 5th inning was first base coach Mike Brown, father of shortstop Trent Brown. And the Generals didn't slow them down any, though, as they scored 2 runs there in the bottom of the 5th inning and now lead 6-4. First batter up here for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Bennett Einoff, facing Chris Fearon, as the first pitch from Fearon is going to be down and away for ball 1. So a 1-0 count here to Bennett Einoff, who has a walk and a strikeout tonight. Einoff is going to foul that one back to the right side to make the count even at 1-1. So a 1-1 count here to Bennett Einoff. Pitch on the way from Chris Fearon. Off-speed pitch is going to be fouled back to make the count 1-2. So a high-scoring game so far here at Riverside Stadium. 10 combined runs between both teams. 9 hits for the Generals, 4 for the Bombers. As Fearon is going to throw a nice off-speed pitch in there, and Bennett Einoff is going to go down swinging to the University of Texas pitcher Chris Fearon. So after the strikeout by Bennett Einoff, the catcher Cam Haller will be the next batter up for the Bombers. 3rd strikeout of the game for Chris Fearon, as the first pitch on the way to Haller is going to be bouncing down and away for ball 1. Cam Haller tonight with a run scored and a walk. 1 out here in the the top of the 6th, as that one's going to be down and away to make the count 2-0. So a 2-0 count here to Haller. Pitch on the way from Fearon is going to be in there for strike 1. Cam Haller hitting .304 on the year for the Brazos Valley Bombers. Count sits at 2-1. Pitch on the way is going to be down and away outside. And a 3-1 count here coming up to Cam Haller. Generals lead the Bombers 6-4 after scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Pitch on the way is going to be in there for strike 2. Haller started walking towards first as he thought it was ball 4. But the count now at 3-2. Pitch on the way from Fearon is going to miss outside for ball 4. And Cam Haller is going to draw the walk here in the top of the 6th. Back to the top of the order for the Brazos Valley Bombers. The next batter up will be Danny Mitchell, with a runner on first base and 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Back and forth game tonight here at Riverside Stadium as Mitchell pops this one up, but it's going to go foul over the fence for strike 1. Danny Mitchell tonight with a walk and a run scored for the Bombers. Fearon is going to throw over to first base. Oh, 1 count here to Danny Mitchell. Pitch on the way from Fearon. There goes the runner to second. Osborne is not even going to throw down, as it's a stolen base for the catcher Cam Haller. Once again, the Bombers moving those runners into scoring position and making this game extremely competitive tonight here at Riverside. 1-1 pitch on the way is going to be outside, missing just that inside corner to make the count 2-1. So a 2-1 count here to the center fielder, Danny Mitchell. Pitch on the way from Fearon. That one's bouncing down and away, and the count moves to 3-1. Three-one count here to Mitchell. Runner on second base, 1 out. Pitch on the way is going to be inside, in there for strike 2. So the count is full at 3-2. Quick timeout here by the pitcher, Chris Fearon. Casey Danley, the batter, on deck for the Bombers. It's a 3-2 pitch is going to be swung on and missed for strike 3. And another strikeout for Chris Fearon. Fifth strikeout of the game for Chris Fearon. And with 2 outs and a runner on second, the next batter up for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Casey Danley. Pitch on the way. There goes Haller to second, and almost a bad throw. Nice stop there by the third baseman, Marshall Skinner. Might have saved a run there. That's a nice catch there by Skinner, and the count moves to 1-0. Runner advances to third base. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. 1-0 pitch coming on the way. It's going to be swung on and missed to even the count up at 1-1. Casey Danley tonight, 2 hits, 2 runs scored, an RBI and a walk. As that one's going to be hit up the middle, and it's going to be a scoop by the shortstop, Trent Brown, for out number 3. So we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. No runs in the top of the 6th for the Bombers. And the Generals lead 6-4. We're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Generals lead the Bombers 6-4. First batter up here for the Victoria Generals will be the second baseman, Giancarlo Servin. Brady Batten still the pitcher tonight for the Brazos Valley Bombers. No hits tonight in the game for Servin, as the first pitch from Batten is going to be outside for ball 1. Nine hits in the game tonight for the Generals, 4 for the Bombers. As the 1-0 pitch is going to be in there for strike 1 to even the count up 1-1 to Giancarlo Servin. Count sits at 1-1. Pitch is going to be in there. It's going to miss outside to make the count 2-1. Brady batting tonight. 2 hits given up, 2 earned runs, no walks and 2 strikeouts. As the 2-1 pitch is going to be down and away in there for strike 2. And the count moves to 2-2. So a 2-2 count here to Servin. Pitch is going to be in there, fouled back into the Generals dugout. Good at bat here by Giancarlo Servin to stay alive. Two-two pitch coming on the way from Batten. It's going to be high and away, and the count's going to go full to 3-2. Bottom of the 6th inning here at Riverside Stadium. Generals lead the Bombers 6-4. 3-2 pitch on the way to Servin is going to be swung on right back up the middle to the pitcher Brady Batten over to first for out number 1. So after the ground out by Giancarlo Servin, the next batter up here for your Victoria Generals will be Michael Morissette. First pitch on the way to Morissette is going to be sent into center field, but the center fielder Danny Mitchell was going to run under this one for out number 2. So after the flyout to center by Michael Morissette, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning, the next batter up will be the catcher Parker Osborne. First pitch on the way to Osborne. It's going to hit the inside of the bat, fouled back for strike 1. So an 0-1 count here to Parker Osborne. Pitch on the way is going to be high and away to even the count up at 1-1. Even 1-1 count here to Osborne. Off-speed pitch from Batten is going to be in there, and the count moves to 1-2. One-two pitch on the way to Osborne is going to be grounded over to the third baseman Adamas. Throw across the diamond for out number 3. And we're going to head to the 7th inning. Generals lead the Bombers 6-4. And we're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the top of the 7th inning. Generals still holding on to a 6-4 lead over the Bombers. New pitcher in for the Victoria Generals will be Hagen Hartman. The first batter he will be facing is Alex Nielsen. So once again, that's Hagen Hartman pitching now for the Victoria Generals. First pitch on the way from Hartman is going to be outside for ball 1. Hagen Hartman having that unique throwing form of the sidearm. Looking to throw off the batter here early in the at-bat. Alex Nielsen. 1-0 pitch on the way from Hartman is going to be swung on and missed. And the count's going to move to 1-1. Alex Nielsen tonight with 2 walks and an RBI as his team trails 6-4. 1-1 pitch on the way from Hartman is going to be grounded over past the third baseman Marshall Skinner for a base hit here to start the top of the 7th. So a base hit by Alex Nielsen has a runner on first base, nobody out here in the top of the 7th. And the next batter up will be Robin Adames. First pitch on the way from Hagen Hartman is going to be sent into center field. Michael Williams is going to run under this one for the first out of the inning. So after Adames flies out to center, next batter up for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Cam Blake. 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning, runner on first base. Cam Blake the batter, Christian Sepulveda on deck. First pitch on the way from Hagen Hartman is going to miss inside to make the count 1-0. So 1-0 count here to Cam Blake, and a throw over to first and a pickoff attempt. It's not going to be successful. Generals holding on to a 6-4 lead. 0-1 pitch coming on the way to Blake is going to miss outside, and the count's going to move to 1-1. Cam Blake tonight with a hit and an RBI and a walk. 1-1 pitch is not going to happen. Another throw over to first. Making sure Alex Nielsen doesn't steal that bag. 2 errors tonight by both teams. 9 hits for the Generals, 5 for the Bombers, as that one's going to be grounded over off the glove of the third baseman, Marshall Skinner. And Alex Nielsen is going to hustle around to third base. And just like that, the Bombers are going to have runners on second and third after the double by Cam Blake. So good hustle, Dale, by Alex Nielsen, hustling all the way around from first to third. And then Cam Blake hustling over to second base. So after the double by Cam Blake, Christian Sepulveda will be the next batter up here for the Bombers. Already 2 strikeouts and a walk tonight in the game. First pitch on the way from Hartman to Sepulveda. Nice off-speed pitch is going to be swung on and missed for strike 1. So an 0-1 count here to Christian Sepulveda. Dylan Bonnert, the batter, on deck. Pitch on the way. Sepulveda looking to bunt here, but it's going to go foul over to the right side for an 0-2 count. So the count sits at 0-2, runners on second and third. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Christian Sepulveda at the plate. Pitch on the way from Hartman is going to be in there, just low and away. Fans thought it was strike three. Very close play to call there. But nonetheless, the count moves to 1-2. 1-2 pitch coming on the way from Hagen Hartman. It's going to be swung on and missed for another strikeout by Hartman. The third of the night by Christian Sepulveda. And the count now back to zeros. 2 outs here as the next batter up for the Bombers will be Dylan Bonner. So after this Sepulveda strikeout, runners on second and third with 2 outs for Dylan Bonner. Pitch on the way to Bonner. It's going to be in there for strike one. Fourth batter of the game that Hagen Hartman has faced. 0-1 pitch on the way is going to be swung on and missed. And just like that, the count moves to 0-2 here to Dylan Bonner. So the count sits at 0-2. Once again, runners on second and third, 2 outs here in the top of the seventh. Generals with the 6-4 lead. Pitch on the way from Hartman's going to be swung on and miss in the second straight strikeout for Hagen Hartman. And no runs in the top of the seventh for the Bombers. And the Generals hold the 6-4 lead. We're going to head to the bottom half of the inning. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the bottom of the seventh inning. Generals holding a 6-4 lead over the Brazos Valley Bombers. First batter up on the way for the Generals will be the shortstop Trent Brown. First pitch on the way to Brown was in there for ball one. 1-0 count on the way from Brady Batten. That one's going to get off the glove of the third baseman Adames. Actually, it looked like it might have bounced off the face of Robin Adames, as that one's got to hurt. Adames taking one. Looked like it bounced off the top of his glove and went right off his forehead. And Adames is going to need a quick breather after that one. Trent Brown hustles down to second with the double. And we're going to step aside for an injury timeout here after Robin Adames takes the ground ball off the glove and into the eye. So back here in Victoria, after the ground ball goes off the glove of Robin Adamas and right into his eye, Adamas is out of the game. Next batter up here for your Victoria Generals after the Trent Brown double will be Luis Vargas. Alex Nielsen over at third now for the Bombers. As the first pitch to Vargas is going to be in there. A bunt. Throw over to third is not going to be successful. And Luis Vargas is going to get down to first with a single. And the runner's now at the corners. And nobody out here in the bottom of the seventh. So with runners on first and third, nobody out. Next batter up for the Generals will be the first baseman, Thomas Jeffries. So Luis Vargas bunts down, gets on for a single. Trent Brown moves over to third, runners on first and third. Pitch on the way from Brady Batten is going to be fouled off to the left side. Dylan Gardner is the new second baseman for the Bombers as Nielsen moved over to the third to take Adamas' spot. Oh, 0-1 pitch coming on the way to Jeffries is going to miss outside to even the count up 1-1. Thomas Jeffries tonight with an RBI on the sacrifice fly in the bottom of the third inning. 1-1 pitch on the way. The runner's going to take off for second. But Jeffries is going to foul that one off to make the count 1-2. This is game one of a two-game series between the Generals and the Bombers. Game 2 will be tomorrow here at Riverside Stadium, 7:05 p.m. First pitch. Quick timeout here by the home plate umpire. As it's a 1-2 count here to Thomas Jeffries. Michael Williams, the center fielder, stands in the on-deck circle. Pitch on the way to Jeffries. Jeffries is going to pop this one up. And the left fielder, Casey Danley, is going to run under it. Trent Brown is going to head home. Throw from left field is not going to be in time. And another sacrifice fly by Thomas Jeffries adds Trent Brown across the plate. And the game now at 7-4 Generals. So the fly out by Thomas Jeffries and the sac fly means that the center fielder Michael Williams will step up to bat next. Runner on first base as the first pitch to Williams is going to be lined out into left field. And Casey Danley's going to run under that one for the second out of the inning. So after Michael Williams flies out to left with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning, the right fielder Chase Evans is going to step up for the Generals. First pitch on the way from Batten to Evans is going to be a big swing and a miss to make the count 0-1. Luis Vargas still standing over there at first. Third baseman Marshall Skinner stands on deck. Oh, 1 pitch on the way. Vargas is going to take off for second. And Vargas is going to get down with the stolen base. The ball goes into center field. Vargas is going to get down to third. Close play at third. And Vargas is going to slide in there for another stolen bag. And Luis Vargas hustling around to third. And the Generals now with a runner in scoring position. So Luis Vargas steals all the way around to third, and the Generals now with a runner on third base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Chase Evans, the batter, 1-1 count. Pitch on the way to Evans. Evans is going to send this one into left field, but the left fielder, Casey Danley, is going to run under it for out number 3. So the Generals add a run here in the bottom of the 7th inning after the Thomas Jeffrey sacrifice fly. The Generals lead the Bombers 7-4. We're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the top of the 8th inning. Generals holding a 7-4 lead over the Brazos Valley Bombers. New pitcher in for your Victoria Generals will be Garrett Alexander, coming in for relief over Hagen Hartman. First batter up here for the Brazos Valley Bombers will be Bennett Einoff, as his team trails 7-4 here at Riverside Stadium. First pitch on the way from Alexander to Einoff is going to be swung on and missed for strike 1. Bennett Einoff tonight, no hits, 2 strikeouts and a walk. 0-1 pitch coming on the way from Alexander. So 1-1 count here to Bennett Einoff. Pitch on the way from Garrett Alexander is going to miss inside to make the count 2-1. Garrett Alexander standing at 6'6", just about as tall as Michael Morissette. As the 2-2 pitch, or excuse me, the 2-1 pitch is going to be fouled back to make the count 2-2. Michael Morissette and Garrett Alexander, 2 of the tallest on the team, both standing 6'6" tall. 2-2 pitch on the way from Alexander to Einoff. Off-speed pitch is just going to miss outside. And the count will move to 3-2. Garrett Alexander, nicknamed the Slim Reaper. 3-2 count here on Bennett Einoff. Pitch on the way is going to be popped up to the left side. Running under it is the third baseman Skinner, but he cannot get it. So it looks like it just was out of reach. Cam Haller, the catcher, stands in the on-deck circle for the Bombers. Three-two count here to Bennett Einoff. Pitch on the way from Alexander is going to be just inside. Einoff having to jump out of the way. And that'll be a walk here in the top of the 8th inning. So after Bennett Einoff is walked by Garrett Alexander, Cam Haller will step in for the Bombers. Nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning. First pitch on the way from Alexander is going to get Haller right in the middle of the back. And Cam Haller is going to go to first after being hit by a pitch. And the Bombers now cooking something up here with runners on first and second, nobody out. So back to the top of the order we go. Danny Mitchell is going to step in for the Bombers with runners on first and second and nobody out. First pitch on the way from Alexander. Mitchell looking to bunt, but the ball's going to go outside for ball one. Danny Mitchell tonight, no hits in the game, 1 strikeout, 1 walk, and 1 run scored. 1-0 pitch coming on the way. Pitch is going to be in there right down the middle for strike one. Count sits even at 1-1 here to Danny Mitchell, the center fielder. He's got Cam Haller on first, Bennett Einoff on second. One pitch coming on the way. It looks like Danny Mitchell looking to bunt there, but cannot get contact with the ball, and the count moves to 1-2. So the count sits at 1-2. Pitch on the way from Alexander. Off-speed pitch is going to miss just down and away to even the count back up at 2-2. Casey Danley, the batter, on deck for the Bombers. Two-two pitch on the way to Mitchell is going to be just inside. Mitchell checking his swing. They're going to say he did not go. And the count's going to go full to 3-2. Some of the fans here at Riverside Stadium thought he went on that one, which would have been strike 3. But nonetheless, Danny Mitchell, 3-2 count. Runners on first and second. Pitch on the way to Mitchell is going to be down and away for ball 4. And just like that, the bases are loaded and nobody out here after the walk by Danny Mitchell. Head coach Michael Oros is going to come out for a quick mound visit to talk with Garrett Alexander after the bases have been loaded here in the top of the 8th and nobody out. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Give us about 30 seconds. We'll be right back here at Riverside Stadium. Back here in Victoria, top of the 8th inning. Bases are loaded for the Bombers. Nobody out after the quick mound visit. Casey Danley, the batter, up for the Bombers. As the first pitch from Alexander is going to go right at the third baseman, Marshall Skinner. Nice diving play over to third. Almost gets the double play there. Beautiful diving catch by Marshall Skinner. That'll be the first out of the inning. If that one gets past Skinner's glove, that's probably 2 runs right there. But instead, Skinner with the beautiful catch. And the next batter up for the Brazos Valley Bombers is going to be Alex Nielsen. So 1 out, bases are loaded for Alex Nielsen. First pitch on the way is going to be in there for strike 1. Count sits at 0-1 here to Alex Nielsen. Bases are loaded. 0-1 pitch on the way from Alexander. Nice scoop there by the catcher Parker Osborne. And the count moves to 1-1. As I mentioned, nice catch there over at third by Marshall Skinner. If that ball gets past him, that's at least 2 runs. But the count now 1-1 pitch on the way from Garrett Alexander is going to miss outside to make the count 2-1. 18 pitches so far for Garrett Alexander in this inning. 2-1 pitch on the way. He's going to be inside for ball 3. That count's going to move to 3-1 here on Alex Nielsen. So a 3-1 count here to Alex Nielsen. Dylan Gardner stands in the on-deck circle as that one's going to be outside ball 4. And the Bombers are going to get a walk run here to make the game 7-5. So Garrett Alexander walks Alex Nielsen and a run scores. Game sets at 7-5 as the lefty Dylan Gardner will step in now for the Brazos Valley Bombers. First pitch on the way from Alexander. He's going to be outside for ball 1. So the bases are loaded right now with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. 1-0 pitch is going to be in there to even the count up at 1-1. Nielsen at first, Mitchell at second, Haller at third. Dylan Gardner the batter. 1-1 pitch from Alexander. Off speed pitch is going to miss just inside to make the count 2-1. Count sitting at 2-1. Dylan Gardner's first at bat of the game. As a 2-1 is going to be hit up the middle to serve, and this one could be 2. Throw over to first from Brown, and that's going to be in there for the double play. And the Generals are going to get out of the inning with only 1 run crossing the plate. So we're going to head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Generals leading the Bombers 7-5. We're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the bottom of the 8th inning as the Generals lead the Bombers 7-5. First pitch on the way to Skinner was in there for ball 1 to make the count 1-0. As a 2-0 pitch is also going to be in there. Count sits at 2-0 here to Marshall Skinner. 2-0 pitch on the way is going to be bouncing down and away for ball 3. And a quick 3-0 count here to the third baseman, Marshall Skinner. .3-0 pitch on the way to Skinner is going to be inside for ball 4. And Marshall Skinner is going to draw the walk here in the bottom of the 8th inning to get a runner on first for the Generals. So Marshall Skinner draws the walk, and the next batter up will be Giancarlo Servin, as it looks like we're going to have a quick mound visit for the Bombers. The Bombers with pitchers warming up in the pen. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this mound visit. Bottom of the 8th inning here. Generals lead the Bombers 7-5. Marshall Skinner draws the walk and is on first for Giancarlo Servin. First pitch on the way from Brady Batten is going to be sent over into left field. And that's going to be a base hit for Giancarlo Servin, as it just goes off the glove of the third baseman, Alex Nielsen. So the Generals now with the runners on first and second, nobody out. And the batter up next for the Generals will be Michael Morissette. Runners on first and second for Morissette. First pitch on the way to Morissette. He's looking to bunt. He gets the bunt down to the right side. Morissette's going to hustle over to first for out number 1, but the sacrifice squeeze is going to get the runners over to second and third. So Morissette does his job, advances the runners. And the next batter up for the Generals will be Parker Osborne. So the runners advance to second and third base for Parker Osborne. Osborne's going to hit this one into right field. Einoff is going to make the catch, but the runner's going to tag up. Skinner's going to get there at the plate. Throw over to third is not going to be in time. And the Generals are now going to add another run to the board to take an 8-5 lead. Parker Osborne hits the sacrifice fly into right field, tagging up Marshall Skinner. Servin advances over to third. And with a runner on third base, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th, Trent Brown is going to step up to the plate. First pitch on the way to Trent Brown is going to be high and away for ball 1. Trent Brown tonight, 2 runs scored, 2 hits, and 1 strikeout for the Generals. 1-0 pitch on the way to Brown is going to be big, swing and a miss to even the count up at 1-1. Count sits even at 1-1 to Brown. Pitch on the way from Batten. It's going to be inside. Brown having to jump out of the way to make the count 2-1. Back to the top of the order. Luis Vargas is on deck. Giancarlo serving on third. Trent Brown the batter. 2-1 pitch on the way to Brown is going to be popped up in the infield. And the second baseman, Dylan Gardner, is going to run under it for out number 3. So we head to the 9th inning. Generals get a run here in the bottom of the 8th to make the game 8-5 Generals. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Victoria Generals Baseball. Back here in Victoria, we head to the top of the 8th inning, the top of the 9th inning. Generals lead the Bombers 8-5. Garrett Alexander remains on the mound for your Generals. Cam Blake is the first batter up for the Bombers as the first pitch is going to miss outside for ball 1. Alexander looking to get the save here as he has a 3-run lead to work with. As the second pitch of the at-bat, is going to be popped up into left field. And the left fielder, Luis Vargas, is going to run under it for the first out of the inning. So the Bombers down to their last 2 outs. Zach Iverson will step in now for the Bombers with 1 out here in the 9th. First pitch on the way from Alexander. He's going to miss inside for ball 1. Generals 2 outs away from ending a 2-game losing streak. Once again, game 2 against the Bombers will be tomorrow night here at Riverside Stadium. First pitch at 7:05. Quick time here by Zach Iverson. One-0 count here to Iverson. Pitch is on the way. It's going to be inside to make the count 2-0. Pitch coming on the way from Alexander is going to be right down the middle, and the count's going to move to 2-1. So a 2-1 count. Pitch on the way from Garrett Alexander is going to miss outside. And the count is going to move to 3-1. 3-1 count here to Zach Iverson. Pitch on the way. This one's going to be popped up into center field. And Michael Williams, the center fielder, is going to run under it for the second out of the inning. So the Generals just 1 out away from becoming victorious here at Riverside Stadium over the Bombers. Next batter up here for the Bombers, DJ Przinski. As the pitch is going to be high and away for ball 1. Generals lead 8-5 here in the top of the 9th inning. Are just 1 out away from becoming victorious. 1-0 pitch on the way is going to be fouled back to even the count up at 1-1. One count here to Pertinsky. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed. In the count. Now at 1-2. Bombers down to their last strike. So a 1-2 count. Pitch on the way from Alexander is going to be high and away to make the count 2-2. Count sits at 2-2. Alexander gets a sign from his catcher Osborne. Pitch is going to be on the way. It's going to be high and away. Przinski having to dodge out of the way of that one. And the count now at 3-2. Bennett Einoff, the batter, on deck. Three-two pitch coming. It's going to be inside. It's going to hit Pertinsky in the back. And on the 3-2 count, Pertinsky's going to go down to first with the walk. With the hit at bat. And the next batter up for the Bombers will be Bennett Einoff. Runner on first base, 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. First pitch on the way from Einoff is going to be swung on and missed for strike 1. So the Bombers still on their last breath here with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Trailing by 3 runs. A 1 pitch coming on the way from Alexander is going to be bouncing away from the catcher Parker Osborne. And the runner is going to advance over to second with ease. So the count sits at 1-1. Runner on second base, 2 outs in the inning. Quick timeout here by the catcher Parker Osborne, and Garrett Alexander just trying to figure things out. Cam Haller, the batter, on deck for the Brazos Valley Bombers. 11 hits tonight in the game for the Generals, 6 for the Bombers. One count here to Bennett Einoff. Pitch on the way from Alexander is going to be hooked over to the left side to make the count 1-2 after the foul ball. And the Bombers once again down to their last strike. So that count sits at 1-2 to Einoff. Runner on second. Pitch on the way from Alexander is going to be in there, swung on and missing. Garrett Alexander gets the save, and the game is over. And the Generals are going to become victorious here at Riverside Stadium, defeating the Bombers 8-5. Game 2 will be tomorrow night here at Riverside Stadium, 7:05 p.m. first pitch. As once again, the Generals end a 2-game losing streak, defeating the Brazos Valley Bombers here at Riverside Stadium 8-5. Garrett Alexander gets the save tonight for the Generals. Thank you so much for listening. And once again, we'll be back here tomorrow as the Generals and the Bombers will take on Game 2 here at Riverside Stadium. Thank you so much. Go Generals.